The knight errant himself. Can we get Hairbrain to stop talking? When I discovered he was the one who had been abducted, a sense of foreboding stirred within me. This professor case is very puzzling. I'm sorry, you're not allowed in here. She's gonna kill me. You requested that autopsy report from Gregson, didn't you? I've accused you of being complicit in what happened. Want to go out for tea afterwards? Strongheart has forbidden it. Good day to you. Wow. She refuses to testify. The meaning will become all too apparent whether you like it or not. That was ominous. When in the course of human events you perceive even a shadow of doubt about the truth, don't let it out of your sight. Pursue it like a dog with a bone. Bone on the meat? How many cycle locks does she have? At least like 10,000. I purchased a bar of caramel earlier. This is the second time in this stream that he said it's time for the final chapter. I'm beginning to doubt they know what that means. Then again, it is trial part 3 again, so I guess we can have 2 final chapters as well, since it's the same chapter. We really mean it this time. Prosecution is ready. Yes, my lord. They're about to try a case from X years ago that connects to the current case. This is Dual Destinies. Let's be honest, that's every Ace Attorney. That's not just Dual Destinies. That actually just generically applies to the series. Bring in the witness. Things are about to become a lot more intense. Are we going camping? If Drebber is responsible, as I'm sure he is, it means he must have had an accomplice in Dr. Scythe. And what connects the pair of them is the waxwork. They're connected by the wax. Ooh. Oh. That's impressive. There was a demand for ransom money left behind by the culprit. According to what I've just been told outside the courtroom, that was not the true reason. It was utilized as a substitute for the body of a murder victim? That is conjecture. I'm Lord Van Zeeks. This is the victim of the case. Let's open up the helmet. This is absurd. The man's identity was never made public after all. The trial took place in a closed court. The condemned man was summarily executed. His identity remains a closely guarded national secret. Ooh, okay, wait. She's got principles that are like Shelley Day Killer principles? Let's go. Give me the principles. Two Spells has always prided itself on sculpting its models a la perfection. Every detail is fashioned with complete fidelity. Member of the Two Spells family is said to have made the waxwork of the queen who was executed. Beneath the mask. Let's reveal it. I'm excited to see who it is. No, no testimony. Just open the mask. All right, I guess we're getting testimony. The special exhibit in the House of Horrors is based on a rumor that shocked society in London. An impression of the visage was taken directly from the corpse in accordance with Two Spells family principles. I enlisted the aid of the gravedigger and created a mold for the head in the cemetery just before the interment. I hid myself until he gave me a signal. I was there for a very long time that night. As dawn approached, I was very worried that I could be discovered. I think I do too, Curly. Two Spells for best character. I have here a newspaper from the time. Drebber's dreadful encounter. I like the other articles on the side of the paper. Krakatoa eruption. Charles Darwin to receive, what was that? Copley Medal? It was the most detailed account of what happened as reported by the eyewitness who saw it. The Great Stink. Yeah, that one's on there too. Mad Sheep Rampage? I didn't even see that one. The public enjoy absurdity. That is why I reproduced the scene as carefully as possible in my museum. Most puzzling. You were there longer than you expected to be? As I removed the mask, the mouth of the cadaver fell open and I had some problems with the chin. Hmm. Three hours after death. Rigor mortis. It starts in the jaw. I did not know that, if that's actually true. Rigor mortis starts in the jaw. I learned something. Before that time, the mouth falls open and it is very difficult to do my work. It's significant. Oh, Susato. We love you. It took me a very long time because it was before the onset of rigor mortis. Do we have anything for that? Death by hanging confirmed at midnight, 17th June. Zoom in on the facial. Look at this. The Great Stink. Can we not, like, do anything with this? What is this? A newspaper article recounting the tale of an eyewitness to the alleged resurrection of the professor from his grave on the night of his execution. I don't know if this has to do with it or not. It says midnight. As dawn approached, I was very worried that I would be discovered. the time of the day then, approximately? The earliest sunrise of that year. First flight would have been around 4:40 in the morning. I had very little time, so I finished my work in a half hour. It's significant. We're just amending all the testimony today. I hurried to finish my work in a half hour before sunrise. I mean, this is just math, right? Now we present the autopsy report. No? I've been blasted. From his grave on the night of the execution. Okay. I had the right thing, but the wrong statement. According to her testimony, Madame Two Spells was creating her wax impression just before dawn. And at that time, rigor mortis had not yet set in. But on the other hand, if you look at Scythe's report, it quite clearly states the following. Death by hanging at midnight. If the professor indeed died at midnight that day, then by the time you were sculpting his face, rigor mortis would already have set in. We did it. This report is a sham. The execution didn't take place. You also implicate members of staff at Barclay Prison where the execution took place. I implicate everyone. By heck. Not in my day. The professor died that night. Without question. I moved the man's limp jaw with my own hands. What if he didn't die at the gallows? Are you insane? It's almost impossible to believe, but it would explain the link. I have evidence that will explain exactly what I'm suggesting happened that night. Wow. Okay. I guess I have evidence. Is it the camera with the blood on it? I don't think this is what they're looking for, but... What have we here? The next time you present such a nonsensical article, Council, you may find that tonight is the night of your own execution. Oh my. Okay, what's the evidence that explains what really happened on the night? Is it the article? I mean, is it the waxwork head? Is it time for that now? I don't know what it wants me to do. I'm going this. Okay, this is not going well. I don't know what evidence you want me to show. The 10-year-old article? Sure. Executed criminal returns in the dead of night at local cemetery. Professor assumed dead following his execution, emerged from his grave and was killed again. The man made it all up. Well, we all know who took... I mean, it's written there in the article, isn't it? Come on, this is easy stuff. It was obviously Gina Lestrade. The condemned criminal emerging from the grave in glorious 3DS 3 dimensions. What is all this talk about Drebber? The theft of the Professor waxwork from your museum some days ago was perpetrated by the very same man. Long ago in the past. We're going back to the past. The witness was simply described as a certain young man. The Daily Circus. Enoch Drebber. I paid him £5 to model for the waxwork. Well then. The public treated this claim as nothing more than an amusing anecdote that was soon forgotten. 10 years later, the same man steals a waxwork model of the executed criminal to use as a body double for the victim in the case we're discussing today. Even though the waxwork's build is a poor match for the victim and its face is obscured by a mask. Three days ago, the birdcage crashed into the Crystal Tower. If the birdcage had in fact contained not the body of Mr. Asman, but the same waxwork. The coroner from Scotland Yard who investigated Scythe would have noticed immediately. And yet she submitted this autopsy report for the victim, which the court has seen earlier. Because the waxwork was that of the professor, is that what you're saying? Scythe put her name to a document confirming the death of a condemned criminal who was still alive. A criminal whose resurrection was witnessed by Drebber. But that misconduct was a deadly secret the coroner would do anything to protect. Which is precisely why Drebber used that particular waxwork as the body double. Scythe must testify. But according to the missive I received this morning through the prosecutor's office, Scythe is unable to participate in these proceedings. Oh, has he forbidden us from summoning her, though? Maybe we'll call her to the stand. Oh, the prosecution calls for the instructions to be scrapped. In other words, me. He's so cool. To be continued. Oh, no, we're going right into it. All right. Everybody's here. I will pursue the matter to the bitter end. You took the victim's life by means of a machine that you constructed in your workshop. And Dr. Scythe, you were the first on the scene to examine the victim's body. You collaborated with each other and were both complicit in this crime. I witnessed the mass execution with my own eyes and pronounced him dead. That remains to be seen. Tell everyone the truth of what you saw that night. You know, for as much as this case dragged on, it's building to something good. Not one person would take me seriously yet. Now here we are 10 years later, and suddenly my story matters. Let's be red text frank. Yes, red text, of course. The reason I was in Lowgate Cemetery all 10 years ago was for a spot of moonlighting, shall we say. I realized that I never actually saw the professor. Soon afterwards, I was visited by a young woman who sculpted a model of me in wax. Then I gave up on my dream of becoming a scientist, and it was all because of that newspaper article. Well, that testimony sucked. Grave robbing. The Resurrectionists? Okay. Where are we going? The Repurposers. The reporter who exposed me, he sketched that right in front of me as I described the scene. Wow, it's kind of strange that Odie Asman's signature is in the bottom right corner of this picture. I wonder why that would be. It's a strange coincidence. All right, we'll hold on to that thought for a second. I think we need to wait for a press. That night was a pivotal moment in my life. I purchased something else for you that day. I can't say I remember. His camera. It seems like the camera might come in handy right now. The actual camera. Where do we present the blood on the camera? If he admits to having seen the professor emerging from the grave years ago, it will expose a secret inside his past that she would desperately want to hide. If they're working together now, then if Trevor were to betray her, there would be no reason for her to continue to cooperate. I mean, it's got to be the camera, right? No? It's not the camera. Thanks for playing. Trial Part 4. We somehow went to Part 4 somewhere. Do we have to examine the camera again? No. It's all checked off. There's so much evidence in this case, it's ridiculous. Wouldn't this all be easier if we just revealed who's beneath the mask? We got him. Sorry, Drebber. I was there and you were not. It's a vile scene if you look closely. Amend your testimony to explain exactly how you think your eyes deceived you. Of course. Dude, this Drebber guy sucks. What I in fact witnessed was a fellow grave robber at work. claiming it was just another student on an equally insalubrious business? Nice vocabulary. Many of the medical students would wear metal masks to protect them from bacteria during dissections. In the next second, a gunshot rang out suddenly from behind. The bullet pierced the resurrected man's chest, whose breath then stilled once more. An embellishment. I thought it was strange how Drebber could claim this now. When I met you 10 years ago at your university dorm, you recounted to me about your adventures in the cemetery, including the gunshot. Stop. He's all red text now. According to what Drebber told me at the time, he did hear a gunshot from behind him, and the bullet hit the condemned man. The blood that spattered over you when he was shot. Come on. There was no gunshot from behind me at all, nor any spattering blood. I think you lose. Look at this photograph box. This kind of camera is rarely seen in our homeland, so my colleague and I were keen to examine it closely. We noticed that the lens extends forward on the end of some bellows. Like this. Do you like what you see? That's right, it's a rather conspicuous mark here on the bellows. It would be difficult to determine if it was human blood and not the blood of some animal. On the night in question 10 years ago, you were spattered with blood from the gunshot. You really did witness the professor emerging from his tomb. This case is never going to end, is it? There's no end in sight. This single case is longer than Ace Attorney 1. Mr. Drebber is obviously lying to protect somebody. I believe I have an idea who it might be. Who is this witness trying to protect by lying about what he saw that night? Dr. Scythe. Imagine if the convict who'd been sentenced to death was not in fact killed. Imagine if that was to come to light. And imagine if the convict in question was the country's most hated mass murderer. If it was the professor, that would be a huge scandal. That's exactly what it would mean. There was a witness to the fact that the man did escape his hanging. It would taint the honor of the entire judiciary from the ground up. Dr. Scythe would consent to any demand made of her by someone who threatened to expose the secret, even if that meant being complicit in a crime. Oh, okay. So they schemed to kill the journalist who ruined his life. I get it. Ooh, the rarely seen Foot of Doom. When's he gonna tag team his partner there? Let the assistant do some prosecuting. Gotta tag in. Yeah, he hasn't thrown the chalice this case yet, has he? He crushed it once. If the condemned man really did emerge from his tomb that night, only to be shot in the chest, who pulled the trigger? Pour me a drink. Do you realize just what a dangerous endeavor it would be to coerce this woman into such criminal activity? Tantamount to declaring war on the entire British police force and judiciary. This was no petty crime either. The victim was murdered. I had no reason to kill Mr. Asman at all. Why would he want to kill Mr. Asman? If only we could figure that out in writing. Talk to the hand. How do you explain why this engineer would throw all caution to the wind and threaten his own country? Present your evidence. Two pieces of evidence. Oh, the double. Two quick ones. The evidence that establishes a motive and explains why the witness wanted the victim dead is right here. 10-year-old article. On its own, it isn't particularly significant. However, when considered alongside another piece of evidence, I have the almighty Exodia. How many times has that been presented as evidence? Like 6? It's this contract, my lord. Where is the link? It's in the Great Stink. That's where it is. The Great Stink. Mad Sheep Rampage. That's what I'm going to go on if this goes another chapter. The journalist who drew the illustration and wrote the article published about Drebber 10 years ago was the victim of this case, Odie Yasmin. Why would that constitute a motive? Drebber talked about that article in his testimony. He said, the article ruined my life. Cartoonist as well. Yeah, that guy's got a lot of talents. All because of that article. Piers Morgan. They have the same haircut, too. Who's better placed to know whether or not I possess a talent for science than me? Your words don't ring true at all. What could you possibly have to disprove the idea that I was happy to leave university because I lack talent? Trophy of science. You know, I love cases that, you know, when they're actually over, they just want you to recap every piece of evidence in the inventory. Let's look at each one more time. Just for old time's sake. Remind me what this trophy is. Please indulge me. Would you like to look at my armband, too? Let's watch that video one more time. Oh, here we go. Everybody get your dots ready. Here we go. The truth is, he's not going to fold, is he? He's going to lie right now. Here we go. Hold it. Clearly, this has run its course now. I admit it. I admit all of it. No. Good Lord. It's all true. There was a note tucked inside the model's jacket. Dr. Scythe, you will go along with my plan. All the instructions were there in the note. Every detail was meticulously written out. She did it for the judiciary, everybody. She did it for the judiciary. It's what they would have wanted. Why on earth would you buckle now? Of course he doesn't. Have you forgotten that the Kinesis machine was ripped to shreds by an explosion? Short of me admitting to a crime, there's really no possible way for you to prove I did anything wrong. Wow. I can't believe he gets to walk. Whatever this man says, I admit everything. I hope you'll accept my apologies. What happens next is in your hands. She's such a boring villain, to be honest. I thought she'd have like an epic breakdown. She just admitted it. She's like, yeah, I did that. The final findings. This trial is not the proper forum to figure out the wrongdoings of Drebber. The defendant is Albert Harebrain. Very true. Scythe has admitted to the allegations brought by the defense, thereby absolving the defendant. You're telling me after a 20-hour case, we're just going to bow out right now? Unless the prosecution or defense have any other matters to discuss? I have an objection. Why did Scythe suddenly admit to it like that? Further testimony. I don't want to go to bed tonight. You do realize I'm about to adjudicate in favor of your client. I don't care. It's Harebrain. Let's switch up our verdict. Man, there's lots of dots tonight. Oh, I accidentally clicked cheer instead of chat, and it told me I cannot cheer in my own channel. That's depressing. One word of warning before I go. If, in the course of human events, pursue it like a dog with a bone. Mr. Sholmes definitely knew this was coming. He's a genius, after all, who thinks that anti-gravity is real. Five DLC. I think this has probably happened a couple times, actually. Or was it only once? I feel like this has happened a couple times before. Testimony from me about what? Oh, Van Zeeks doesn't care anymore. He's tossed the bottle. The prosecution also calls for supplementary testimony. This isn't going to finish tonight, is it? We're going to need another stream. Nobody told me this game was infinity hours long. I should have just read Umineko instead. No, not yet, Mess. Let's do this testimony here. We still got like half an hour or so to stream tonight. It all began at the scene when I saw the waxwork and the note tucked inside its jacket. The actual body of the victim, as indicated in the note's instructions, was beneath the experimentation stage. The body had to be arranged in certain ways to implicate the defendant, which was my job. I enlisted the help of the entire FIT to dress the scene appropriately. The truth about the execution 10 years ago is a state secret of the highest level. I had to protect it. When are we going to just reveal the mask? I want to know who it is. You're a very shrewd boy. I recorded the location of the body as being in the Crystal Tower instead of under the stage. Nobody else in Scotland Yard knew anything about it, I assure you. Look at that face. All right, we're gonna press. One bad health and a dream. I'd never heard of this engineer, so I had no idea. The actual body of the victim, as indicated in the notes instructions, was beneath the experimentation stage. The instructions in the engineer's note said something along the lines of, fabricate some evidence to make it clear that Hairbrain alone could have killed Asmon. There was a void under the stage where I found the birdcage lying in the dirt. This is a really depressing way to die, by the way. We're just going to drop you in this birdcage, and then creepy coroner murderer lady is going to come in with a screwdriver and just undo you. Oh, we're getting the recreation. Is a screwdriver sharp enough to do some damage? I've never really considered this. Something tells me that it would be very hard to, like, pierce someone with a screwdriver. Not that I want to, like, personally find out. That just seems difficult to me. People were softer in the 1890s. The trauma resulting from the 30-foot drop. Amend your testimony. What I wanted to supplement her testimony with is, the real cause of death or what she did to the victim. I don't know. Why do I care? Just stop yelling, please. The actual cause of death was the neck trauma Asmon suffered from the 30-foot fall. Let's get back to the testimony. The actual cause of death was the neck trauma Asmon suffered from the 30-foot fall. I mean, there don't seem to be much trauma there. That looks like a neck to me. I don't know if that's correct or not, though. Okay, we're going to try seeing what the other line is. It won't let me autoplay this. That's weird. We've definitely already seen this. Didn't we? What should I do with, ask her to do with the statement she added? Have her change it. What if instead of having to change testimony, we just included all of the testimony? What if we just did that? When's that coming to Ace Attorney? I stood over the victim's corpse where it lay in the toppled cage and plunged the screwdriver into the chest. That didn't seem much. Her testimony's not helpful. Nothing was more important than protecting the secret of the professor. I need a lawyer. Me too. This round of testimony stunk. Okay, we already did this. So it's going to be one or the other. It's either the 30 feet or... I stood over the victim's corpse where it lay in the toppled cage and plunged the screwdriver into the chest. Maybe we should investigate this. This is blood. Oh, that's it? No updated testimony on that one? It's not going to be like secretly a gun, is it? Is there a compartment I'm missing? A metal screwdriver that was found poking through the grill in the base of what remains of the kinesis machine. What am I missing? Okay, we're gonna save. I don't know what we're missing. Okay, well, it's not the screwdriver. Aha! Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. Ooh. New song. It took 8 cases. Oh, wait, no, this isn't a new song. Never mind. Is it a new song? No. I didn't recognize the opening of it. I think that this song is familiar. Never mind. Maybe this is a new song. Which shows the victim in the birdcage following the events that led to his death. The court has already examined that photograph in depth. There's nothing new we can learn from it. We have already considered it. That's true. However, where in this photograph would we see the alleged inconsistency with the witness's statement? I go for the blood, personally. It extends in a downwards direction towards the man's feet. If the victim was stabbed moments before the kinesis machine was set in motion, that's entirely expected. First try pie, that's right. Never mind the constant saving and loading I've been doing throughout this case. Dr. Scythe made it very clear in her testimony just now that the point at which she stole Professor Hairbrain's screwdriver and stabbed the victim was after the drop. If the victim had really been stabbed whilst inside the birdcage in that position, the blood from the wound would have spread out equally in all directions. Haha, you didn't consider that, did you? Wow, really? Okay, that one stumped you guys. It's interesting. I got stumped on a bunch of stuff in this case, so I certainly have no reason to brag, but when in doubt, in Ace Attorney, when in doubt, just pick the obvious thing. That's what I've learned over the years. When they're talking about blood, present the blood. But yeah, I got tripped up a bunch this case. In short, Scythe, Your latest testimony was all lie. You are nothing but a liar. What sort of misapprehension? She doesn't look too good. You claim you were coerced into helping Drebber as a result of the note he left in the waxwork. You claim that you made changes to the scene of the crime to implicate the defendant. And you claim that you authored a fake autopsy report to cover your tracks. Tell her what she's won. One of those claims is an out-and-out lie. The question of what the bloodstain really tells us has only one possible answer. What is it, man? Which part of Sai's story is shown to be a lie by the contradiction in her testimony? I mean, once again, are we back on the autopsy report? I mean, it's sort of like all three, technically. Is it not? This feels like a tricky question again. I mean, it's technically all three. Can you even get this question wrong? If, when the victim was stabbed, the blood from the wound seeped downwards as it did, we can be sure that the victim must have been either sitting or standing upright at the time. The birdcage would have fallen on its side when it fell beneath the stage. My assistant disappeared half an hour ago. The victim must have been in that position of his own accord. That's impossible. Boom. 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 We overused this sound effect a little bit. When the birdcage fell from the stage into the void below, it must have hit the ground with considerable force. Oh, my back. Yeah, I'm just gonna get out of here. Oh, he's such a nimble fella to just get up from that and keep going. You're telling me that not only can a screwdriver pierce a body, but it can do it while the other person is standing upright? I'm not buying that one. That's a sharp screwdriver. Boom. It was you. You're the only one. Didn't she technically confess already, though? Like, what was the point of this? I guess to... she confessed to switching the bodies. She didn't confess to killing. That's true. Yeah. That's true. You killed him. You hoped that admitting to being an accomplice in Drebber's scheme, the trial would end. But alas, we're still here at midnight. Shut up. Sadly, your logic has a gaping hole in it, because we would never let the case end now. A motive boy. What possible reason would I have to kill Mr. Asman? It's time for the final chapter. I feel sure I've seen something somewhere that hints at why the coroner might have done this. When you questioned what possible reason you could have for wanting to kill Mr. Asman, something did come to mind. Well, it's time to present. Smack your cheeks. Oh, I thought he was going to do the animation. He didn't do it. Something that seems strange, but we had no reason to suspect it at the time. There's a particular object that explains why Scythe would have wanted to kill Asman. Oh, multiple choice question. The Iron Mask, scalpels, the screwdriver. Sounds like the Iron Mask to me. You've lost me. It left the greatest impression. Oh, I meant to say scalpels. Okay. Yeah, that one. Sometimes I just, you know, Iron Mask, scalpels, potato, potato. Even the game is sick of this case. They're like, you know what? You got it wrong, but let's just keep it going. It was yesterday when we visited your laboratory. Dexter's laboratory. Back to the lab again. Look at this big, thick book here. It's clear that the team purchases various equipment and supplies on a monthly basis, but one entry seems rather strange. 500 scalpels a month. Bum, bum, bum. At first I wondered what on earth you could be using that many scalpels for. But actually, it's not the scalpels that are significant. It's the money. Wow, that is a stretch, but all right. I don't know what happened on the night of that execution 10 years ago, but clearly the opportunity to rid yourself of that menace was too tempting to pass up. You did it entirely of your own free will. There's a lot of blackmail going on in this case. But we've had to keep covered up all these long years. I have a feeling we're about to. Give us the history. I mean, really? I was particularly pleased with the Kinesis machine. What did he say? It made for quite a show, didn't it? I did it all in the name of revenge. When I learned that news, my cognitive processes started to devise the plan. The plan to make this case never end with my long description. Yeah, we can just skip case 4, right? Let's just jump right over it. Your actions against those who'd ruin your future were justified as revenge. Yeah, remember this, loser. I think we need some ellipses in the chat. Really bring home the feeling here. If anyone's still awake, put some ellipses in the chat. There we go. Oh, what a case. Did anybody die in the explosion at the fair? I don't think we know that yet. They haven't said. I wanted to do one case a night, Rendered Soul. That was back when Ace Attorney games had 4 to 6 hour cases, but apparently that's no longer the case. Get it? No longer the case? 3DS stands for 3 days. This has been a very long and profound trial. You can say that again, and you probably will. I've been selfish and self-centered, and above all, a fool. That's someone else's trademark word. You can't take that. You know, we never talked to the assistant over here. The assistant just stood there the whole time. Look, I don't care if that's actually a Sogi or not. He is wearing Sherlock's clothes underneath that. That is the same shirt. That is the same purple, whatever it's got going on there. That's very clearly Holmes. I don't care. And Leighton sitting in the background. Do you see the hat? He's thinking about when he's going to jump into this series and sabotage it. He's plotting already. He was very good at handing scrolls to Barrick, that's true. And he did like the sword chop to open the wine bottle. That was impressive. Barrick with the unusual pep talk. Are we going to get a corn statement here? No corn. Unbelievable. We should have done a prediction on that one. Not corny. We did it. Thank God it's over. We did it. What a case. Now, are we going to get to see beneath the mask, finally? Show me what's beneath the mask. That was some trial. Yes, indeed. Oh, it's just over. Okay. No? Not over. Interesting that they had permission to shoot off fireworks in the Old Bailey after the giant incinerated carriage from the first game. You think they'd have like a fire marshal or something? We don't need any financial reward, but we would greatly appreciate it. Hairbrain, if you're interested, you can always give me a tier 3 sub for my effort. Because I feel like, with as long as we spent defending you, that's the least you could do. I don't want to read your hypothesis. This guy was created to make us miss Soseki. Yeah. Yep. I can't allow that. Uh-oh. The Reaper is here. Is Hairbrain about to get splattered? Let's see it. I'm sorry you had to go through that, Albert. You're one of the few true friends I have. Now die. This is the most unlikely friendship ever. In a few days, your acquittal will be made official. When that happens, you must head straight to Dover. From there, you'll cross the channel and make your way back to Germany. No sightseeing, Albert. Give up on the idea. How did Soseki escape alive? He just bailed immediately. He was like, he didn't need this warning. He was just like, I'm out of here. I understand too. Yeah, I don't think the Reaper is who we think it is. I think that's our boy, Lord Strongheart. The truly innocent are spared, but I don't want to take any chances with a close personal friend. Look at that face. I'm telling you that he'd make a really good Fire Emblem character. I do mean Heart Vortex, that's correct. Apparently I've adopted the other name now. Heart Vortex is definitely a cooler name. He's not a Fire Emblem character? I mean, odds are he probably resembles one, to be honest. This man seems merciless, and yet he's just a big softy. Back to the prison, Albert. It was a pleasure getting to know you. Don't die. But also, don't ever come back on my screen again. Oh yeah, sure. We'll visit you in Germany. You want to talk right now? I'll be waiting in the courtroom in 10 minutes. All right, then. That was strange. Hairbrain for top Ace Attorney characters of all time. Agreed. Bum, 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 bum. The Enigma. What does he want to discuss? We'll find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Oh, we'll actually find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Oh, no. We'll actually find out right now on Dragon Ball Z. Okay. What do we got? Oh, we're going to unveil the mask. Beneath the mask. Oh, this is the part where we get scolded because even though we did the right thing, it was an inconvenience. You know, kind of like if Activision Blizzard was to get rid of that guy at the top that's a total loser. You know, like we should get rid of him, but it's an inconvenience, so it's not a good thing, right? Also, I think that guy's getting booted, isn't he? Finally. Anyway. I imagine you've been wondering where my animosity towards you Nipponese comes from. Oh, okay, wait a minute. I have a hunch. Is the Professor Mikotoba? That would be a wild twist. Let's open the mask. What a song. My brother was Clint Van Zeeks. Oh, we're going to get a 16 years ago story? I'm trying to go to bed. But I'm also very interested, so I'm torn. He was already the director of prosecutions and a key member of the judiciary. He was everything I aspired to be. He was involved in the establishment of justice systems in foreign countries as well. Three judicial students came to Britain from your homeland, the Empire of Japan. My father. I was a minor at the time, training at the prosecutor's office and drinking at home. One day, Clint introduced me to the three visiting Nipponese. So you've actually met my father. That's when it happened. For me personally, though, it was a great loss. Found myself in a very dark place indeed. When I finally found out the killer's identity, the reason why no one had been able to catch the man sooner ceased to be such a mystery. He'd been hiding in plain sight all the time. I am not aware of political events from 10 years ago, but I have a feeling I'm about to get a crash course. It was a period of extremely sensitive diplomacy between the British and Japanese empires. Hope you're ready to stay up all night, folks. We got a story to tell. The Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation was being concluded. The leaders of both countries were deep in extensive political discussions. This particular killer's appearance in court was conducted as a closed trial. If the British public had known the identity of Day Killer, not only would the treaty have been in jeopardy, but our two nations could very well have ended up at war. The professor was... You didn't want to do this like 6 hours ago during the trial? All you had to do was take the key. It was even presented during the proceedings. Just take the key. Amazing. He knows Japanese too. Who is it going to be? That's the professor?
今まで考えたこともありませんでした。英国犯罪史上最悪の事件。その殺人鬼の正体が
The mass murderer whose crime struck Britain as never before
日本人だったなんて
was Japanese. Oh. But not anybody that I recognize.
待ってください。この面影、どこかで見たことがある。
I feel as though I've seen it somewhere.
そんな気がいたします。
It's strangely familiar. Oh. Are you okay? You doing all right over there? Whoa. Oh my god, it's Akechi. Goro Akechi. What are you doing in this game? Father?
Asogi!
Asogi! Oh, this is worth it right here. I'm glad we stayed up.
1年の時を経て今、すべての記憶を取り戻して。
That's not fair. He's also wearing a purple shirt.
目の前に立っていた。
Threw me off. Do you mind explaining how you're alive?
なるほど。久しぶりだな。友よ。
カズマ様。
味方は法務女子。長い間ご苦労だった。礼を言う。
I'm trying to decide if I like this or if I don't like this. On one hand, Asogi's our boy, so the fact that he's still alive is really cool. But on the other hand, it's kind of also not cool because it had an impact, you know? I feel a little bit robbed right now, to be honest.
私の代わりに友をここに導いてくれた。
カズマ様。
We do get to listen to his music more, so that's true.
やっぱり生きていたんだな、アソギ。
Also, what does this do? What does this do to the verdict that we rendered on the boat back in the first game? Guess what? Whatever. You know, inconsequential.
何しろ、そいつを守ってくれたのだからな。
え、あ。アソギの家に代々伝わる。
The great blade of the Asogi clan. Okay, watch this. Check this out. He's going to try to hand him the sword, and he's going to say, keep it. Check it out.
日本を出発するとき、あいつが身に帯びていた日本人の魂であり、いつもそばに置いておきたいと。そして、あの事件が起こって、僕は佐藤さんからこの刀を託された。お前が残した思いとともに。
All right, now that we caught up all the players who didn't play the first game.
こいつがあると、いつもお前が見守ってくれている気がしていた。
Yo, I think Ace Attorney should just adopt this style permanently. The way that they created this scene here, why can't every scene just do this? It feels a little more dynamic, you know? Then again, that probably also involves budgeting.
やっとたどり着きました。
I've made it at last.
父上、まさかお前知っていたのか。その面影だけど、とても信じられない。殺人鬼の正体が麻生木一馬の父だったなんて。
Finish him. Ba 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 ba.
カズマ様。
なるほど。
Two spells is going to be upset. I forgot about that.
貴様と積もる話はあるが、今はその時ではない。 また会おう。
No, you don't get to do this dramatic crap. You have some explaining to do. You're definitely not going to wait until case 5 to explain it. You're going to tell me right now.
麻生木一馬は僕たちを残して。
And we never saw him again.
法廷から出て行った。
Wow, some friend. Sheesh. Oh, we're back. Just like that. Snap, Van Zeeks. Three months ago, when Strongheart introduced us, I had an inkling there was something there. Some connection. Why did he make Kazuma Lord Van Zeek's apprentice? All right. "10 years ago." Can we stop with the 10 years ago? 10 years ago is when this case started, okay? 10 years ago. We can talk about this tomorrow. We were there to meet my father from the train. It's the first time I'd ever seen him. Dang.
親友は束の間僕たちの前に姿を現して再び消えた。そしてその瞬間、止まっていた時は動き出す。巨大な運命の車輪が回り始める。きしむような音を聞いた気がした。それは確かに何かが始まり何かが終わるきっかけだった。
Dang, that's a lot of feels. And so is that. We made it to the end. We got an achievement.